Hi there. So this year, instead of doing a long written blog post, I decided that being that I launched the podcast this year, that I would do the 2023 recap in podcast/YouTube format. So instead of having to read it, you could just listen or watch if you so choose. 2023 was a weird year. I think it was weird for a lot of us. I think we're still kind of recovering from a few years back. And that being said, I suppose Goodwerks doesn't know it any other way. One of the biggest things that happened this year for Goodwerks in the world of Goodwerks was the Honeycomb Campaign. I've been meaning to do a video for the investors and say, hey, everything's great, everything's fine. I've been dragging my feet a little bit, trying to reconnect and get myself back into the mindset of pushing forward with Goodwerks, and it's been kind of tough the last few months, to be quite honest. The campaign is awesome, so thank you so much to all of you that invested, that spread the word, that contributed in whether it was either investing or just sharing the campaign. So that was, I have a lot of gratitude for you that did that and are part of that. Every month the payment comes out, I'm happy to see it go, because I know that those of you that have invested in Goodwerks are going to be making a little bit of a return, a little bit at a time. And ideally, the goal is for me to pay that before the term is up, because I want to get you guys paid back, and I want Goodwerks. That would be a pretty strong signal that Goodwerks is thriving and surviving. So with some of that money, a decent part of that money, what has been done is I consolidated some debt, like I said I would, in the final days of the campaign, as I was printing orders, or should I say trying to print orders. My initial workshop computer, which was, man, that thing was a decade old, I think. That thing finally shit the bed. So I did upgrade, and I kind of future-proofed. I got a new desktop for Goodwerks and a new monitor, a new desk, so that way when I move the workshop, that will be kind of future-proofed. As I said, that it runs all the label printing, it runs all the design, it runs all of the content generation and production, it runs the laser. So essentially it's the central electronic hub of Goodwerks that isn't my phone or social media. So that was a big part of it. I still have quite a bit of money left in the bank account, and obviously I'm still in the same workshop. My goal is to have a place picked out by the end of January this year, or this coming year. This year you'll be seeing it in 24. This in 24, so technically this year, by the end of January, and it's not last January or the next January. It's this January. So the goal is to have a new place selected by then, and to start getting the moving process. And to be honest with you, I'm terrified. Like I'm really afraid. There's a lot of responsibility, and there's a lot of moving parts to that. And in addition to that, getting employees. Those are two of the big goals for the very near future, and which was what was promised with the Honeycomb Campaign, and that's where I'm going. Along with the computer, like I said, I consolidated some debt. I got a new sewing machine, monstrous, heavy-duty, Super Duty sewing machine that will be great for producing heavier, thicker gear, going through more thicker layers. So that will be part of new products on the horizon. So it was mainly a purchase so that Goodwerks has room to grow and expand in the future. I do have my iPad with me, so I can kind of stay on track here, because I don't want to take up too much of time in your brand new year. So went through the Honeycomb stuff. So another thing that's been really interesting this year has been the Boogie Bag knockoffs. And people want to say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and I think that's fucking bullshit. What I think is people who are unable to come up with their own design, come up with their own ideas, even if it's inspired by something else, fine. Nothing is new anymore. But to take a pattern that wasn't even figured out by you, and to have another company use that pattern to create a knockoff product is lazy, completely unoriginal, and that's the type of stuff that pieces of shit do. And if you have a problem with that, I don't fucking care. And at the end of the day, if it's not made here, if it's not made by me, it's not a Boogie Bag. It's an imposter. It's something that'll never be as good. And I'm sorry that you're that impatient, and I'm sorry that you're that lazy and that unoriginal. But you're just a shitty person and shitty people. And the community that has decided that they would endorse and accept this, and that it was okay to have their children cutting out patterns that were ripping off of another person's, this is my livelihood. This is all I do. This is it for me, man. I'm full in on this, and encouraging your children to copy and steal from someone's hard work. That's some really like high class parenting. So good on you. Like our future with that, like it's bad enough that people are the way that they are, but them encouraging their kids to do that is pretty fucking poor. But there's been a lot of really rad stuff that's happened this year too. Unfortunately, this year I didn't put as much. I disconnected a bit, which I'm not super happy about. But it's been tough for me with continual engagement with the community, and that's one of the things I really want to fix this coming year. We did make some donations this year, not as much as in years past. So this coming year, I definitely want to have a stronger focus on that. So we donated $6,300 to Patrol Base Abate. We donated $4,330 to Irreverent Warriors, and we created a fund of $11,500 for Core Medical Group. Now, the fund for Core Medical Group there's still plenty of money. So if you're a veteran, if you're a first responder, and you're having issues with low libido, lack of energy, brain fog, mood swings, weight gain, you're unable to lose weight, send me a message. We'll get you set up with Core Medical. You can get your blood work done for free. And that way, if you can be optimized, we can get you taken care of. And the first round of HRT, hormone replacement therapy, is going to be at a discounted rate. So send me a message, and we'll get you all set up for that if you're having any of those issues. And I just had my blood done again. My T is low, and it's low normal, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be. So myself, I'm going to be going on TRT. I think it's readily available. It's done really well. You have a professional consultation with a physician's assistant, which is overseen by a doctor. So it's a completely legit system. So if you have any questions about that, if you're interested in that, you think you might benefit from that, please make sure to send me a message. Email me, send me a DM, however, send a letter in the mail to my P.O. box, however you want to approach that. So let's see. The beginning of this year, I'm probably going to be a little less involved in social media. I really want to focus on, one, finding a workshop, like I said, and two, I really want to focus on producing more. I haven't been producing as much product as I would like to. I think that's been pretty apparent. So the beginning of this year is going to be focused mainly on that. And then I really appreciate everybody's interest and shares and watching and comments of the YouTube channel, the podcast. So I'm going to be putting a little focus into that. There's a few people I definitely want to get on the podcast and sit down and talk with. I hate saying interview because I just love, I much prefer to think of it, and I love to talk to people about what they're passionate about and what they enjoy doing. So it's mainly, I really want to focus on people in the GoodWorks community. There may be a couple of solo podcasts like this where I give you updates on GoodWorks and what's going on. And as I'm getting into a new workshop, I'm sure there will be content revolving around that. Another thing that happened this year was the announcement of the Mark III Boogie Bag. And there are very few out there. There are some out there, but there are very few. And there's been an issue with sourcing zippers. And the biggest problem was, as I actually have them right here, The biggest problem was finding zippers that didn't have, or that had the correct size for the coil, but I was having a hard time getting zippers with the correct pull length on it. So generally I get zippers that have a shorter pull length. It's about 3 or 4 millimeters shorter than this. So I searched and searched, and the reason that they're difficult to get is because YKK is they're retooling some of their manufacturing, and so these are just unavailable with the shorter pull. So I was able to source some zippers with the longer pull. So these are going to be going on the Mark IIIs to begin with. So those will be coming soon, and that's going to be my main focus. So that's why the Boogie Bags haven't been, I've made it apparent that in the newsletters before that zippers and sourcing the materials is what was the biggest issue with that. So that was the reason why that's remedied. So Boogie Bags are coming, I promise, even though Boogie Bags aren't the only thing that I make, obviously. Let's see. Swag also happened this year. We had water bottles, hoodies, t-shirts. So thank you guys for picking those up. I really appreciate you guys representing GoodWerks. The community is really amazing. There are absolutely core people in the community that I am just so proud of, and so proud to know. And I love seeing all of the stuff that is, that everybody does and goes out and does with their gear, not just their Boogie Bags, but how they use all of their gear. And speaking of doing things in gear, heavy drop training. It was really rad to get back out and do a couple events this year. It was really good sharing and some suffering with some friends and new friends and developing those relationships. I'm going to continue to continue to support heavy drop training. I will continue to offer up gear for the winners of the competitive division. And I'm going to continue to do heavy drop training events. I was going to go do the collective in Pittsburgh this year, but I unfortunately am unable to now. I will be going down to the Core Medical Group Military Appreciation Weekend the following weekend. There's a few days on either side of that, so I can't be away from the workshop for that long of a period of time. However, I may do the throwdown in May in Pittsburgh. So that is also coming up. And so looking forward into 2024, like I've already said, workshop and employees, that's going to be the very front focus on that in the year. Like I said, the goal is to have a workshop figured out by the end of January, have employees figured out. I know that's going to be a big obstacle. I'm quite terrified of it. I have to figure out all the tax stuff, the payroll stuff. When it comes to business and stuff, I'm awful at it. So I'm learning as I go. I'm really scared, but it's I have to finally jump in. That's been one of the biggest obstacles in the last few months. More nonprofit contributions. Want to get back into that again because I think that I became a little lost with that, and that was one of the biggest things behind GoodWerks is doing GoodWerks. So we need to return to that. I need to return to that. The community needs to return to that. There needs to be more community involvement. I want to get back to the Zooms. I definitely want to start to rebuild that connectivity and that closeness in the community. And maybe we'll do a meetup this year. Maybe we can figure something out, either Midwest or East Coast. Probably won't be in a big city because I don't like big cities. So, that may happen this coming year. And like another thing, the initial focus this year will be on Boogie Bags. I definitely want to get more new products. I've had a few ideas kind of flipping around in my head for a while, which I will approach. However, like I said, the biggest focus right now is going to be getting more Boogie Bags out because I know y'all want them. And that was the next thing on my list is more availability for the Boogie Bags. And especially the Mark IIIs. I know you guys have been waiting for them. I know you've been seeing them. So I want to get them to you. Now that we have the zippers, I have a bunch that are already cut and ready to be sewn. So it's just a matter of keeping my ass in the stool or in the chair and pushing thread through fabric. So thank you guys so much for a fantastic 2023. Thank you for another year of supporting this business. And like I said, this is my livelihood. This is what I do. This is all that I do. And if it weren't for you, then this wouldn't be happening. I wouldn't be here. I started on that small little domestic machine, and now I've got 5 monster machines and a laser cutter and a new computer, and that's all because of you, and it's what's pushing this business forward. So thank you for that. This is going to be coming up in the 4th year of goodwerks in 6 months or so. So that's a big deal. So thank you so much for that. I hope you have an awesome 2024. It's going to get fucking weird, but we'll figure it out and we'll get through it. Like always, if you guys have any questions, just send me a message. You can DM me. You can send me an email. Right now, the best way to do it would be to send me an email, which is info@good-works, WERKS.com. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great 2024. Have a great start to the year. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch or listen, and I'll see you soon.